Um, I just, my phone, I woke up, it's June of 12th, at about 5:10 a.m. And my children's father owns over 40 chain pizza establishments. And I woke up from surgery after being forced to sign paperwork at 41 years old. I'm 47 now, with slits in my arms. And um, I suspect that it's mind control. I started hearing weird voices right after that. And um, my children's father's my children's father's brother owns over 40 pizza establishments that are chain pizza establishments. I haven't heard from my kids in over 16 years. I did call their father, and their father had said that they were okay and they were on the East Coast. He didn't give me much information. I have a feeling they are being mind controlled now as well, and that this mind control can be a tricky thing. And I know that that makes them very, very high risk for maybe people to steal their money with as much as they owned. My daughter worked for one of the pizza establishments, and she was a manager there. And I had went and called. I had called to do a well check on her in that area, and they said that she was. They said when the police said she was at work, and so then this was about 10 months ago, and I called a detective, and with mind control, they can like tell everything that you're doing. And, I think I've had this on me 24/7 for the last 6 years, and they always answer me back. They, they always, and I've just been really scared. When I called today, when I called to do a well check on her like 10 months ago, they said she was at work. And I called a detective, and then not to bother her, and they never let me talk to her. And they didn't really even say that they physically saw her. And I couldn't get a straight answer out of the police officer there in Bozeman, Montana. And they basically yelled at me and told me that they would say it was like a false report or something. And I called a detective to locate her, and he gave me like all kinds of information that I couldn't use that got stolen off of my table. And then the most awkward thing is that I called yesterday to see if my daughter was still working at that place and how long and it was one of their pizza establishments, and to find out how long she had been. Her name is Dea. Find out how long she had been there, and they said she hadn't worked there in over 2 years. So the police officer was even lying to me about the well check, now that I find out. And they say, in my mind control, they've been saying really crappy stuff. Like I say really crappy stuff. They say, like I've been saying it to my kids, which isn't true. I love my kids very much. And what really scares me is that all the people around me that I know seem to know what's going on for some reason. And it's like really awkward, really scary. And I am in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my kids' life at this point. I don't know. And even when I tried to contact my ex, he says, please don't contact me, out of the blue. And I have no reason to know why. You know, he talked to me like a little over a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago almost, and told me that the boys were fine and that they were in Ithaca, New York, and I can't even find my boys. When I called to find out who still owned that pizza establishment, they said that Alan did still own the pizza establishment. My children's father's brother still did own the pizza establishment. But it's just quite awkward to me how I don't know how they could even own it. I'm gonna look it up. But this mind control they make you say things over and over in your head, and it sounds like you're saying it. They say it sounds like you're saying it, but they're actually saying it, and it sounds like your voice, and they can make your voice like really, they're saying snide and snotty things that I don't even say, and they're saying I'm saying these snide and snotty things to my kids. And I know it's not true. I've been sitting here, I'm in Kansas City, and my phone was just on for the last 4 hours to some guy who already tried to physically like choke me and kill me. Like I couldn't breathe. I had to get him off of me, and I won't date him anymore. And he keeps asking me all these questions, and I don't know why my phone was on to him, but I am really, really scared that maybe he's trying to say that I was on the phone with him and I was doing something crazy. They were trying to blame me for something. And I'm really, really in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my kids' life. I'm in fear for their family's life, you know, their dad's side of the family's life. I haven't seen them in over 16 years. The reason why I gave them to their father, I had custody of them, is because I kind of fell short, and I had a fiance that passed away, and I wanted them to see him. I wanted that fiance, I wanted them to be with their father. And I fell into a depression, and I loved my kids, and I wanted them to do well, and and then I got married with this guy whom I woke up out of surgery and was forced to sign this paperwork right before surgery that I couldn't even read, that was going out. And this nurse, I had suspected her going out with my husband, and seen her in the backyard naked, and seen her living next door, and seen them down the street seen my husband down the street giving money to her, and she was going on all these trips with him that I could tell, and I think they were like putting the mind control in other people. And I'm just kind of in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my kids' life. And I'm afraid this might be the last video I'm even going to be able to make, because I'm afraid that my phone being on for the last 4 hours made it to like where they are saying maybe something like, they are also saying they tricked my kids into putting this on, and that my kids, they had funded something to hurt me when really they wanted to hurt them and take their money and take everything they had. And I just think that that's not necessary. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. And then I'm afraid that they've like tricked them